This is the Kleine Zelze Fairtrade Shiraz Grenache Viognier. There's some spicy notes coming in. It brings a freshness to the wine. It elevates that spiciness, almost a leathery character. The Grenache, we make a very light style of Grenache. It actually tones the wine down quite a bit. It brings in a little bit of that red fruit spectrum that we find. And the Viognier, you don't think a little small percentage like that makes a big difference, but it's almost the binding of the Shiraz and the Grenache. It just brings it together and makes the wine whole. On the palate, wonderful, elegant tannins, but with a dry finish that makes you salivate, makes you want to have another sip and another sip and another sip. These vineyards are really happy. They have a full view of False Bay up until Cape Point, all around. Really beautiful, beautiful vineyards. They're planted on decomposed granite soils. There's also a little bit of slate, specifically on the Shiraz portion, which actually brings a very elegant flavor profile into the Shiraz. So really amazing vineyards, some older Stellenbosch fruit. The vineyard's approximately 20 years old. Everything hand-picked, and then we do some green harvesting beforehand in the vineyards as well to make sure that we get all the even ripened bunches into the winery. Specifically with Shiraz and Grenache, we do things a little bit different to your normal winemaking procedures. On the Shiraz, we tend to put some stems back into the ferments. It helps with a spiciness. It brings a freshness to the wine. The Grenache portion, we actually do a little portion of whole bunch fermented. So we put some whole bunch grapes at the bottom of the tank, and then we put the crushed grapes on top of that. We want to focus our extraction of phenols and our tannins at the beginning of ferment, as not to over extract at the end. So we work it quite hard at the beginning and then very soft at the end, just to make sure that we finish the ferment. All of these parcels are aged in barrels and in tank separately, and it's only blended just before we do the bottling. Shiraz just goes very well with sort of that wild flavor. I always tend to lean towards venison, but not dry, cooked medium rare, and this just matches that perfectly. I share this with some very special friends, and a real traditional South African fire in the background, and maybe some venison on there.